Ooh, making a video. Another fake singing video. Yes. Maybe I use a fake voice, be a falsetto type and whatnot. Or maybe not. Yeah, maybe I just made me. Be fun either way, right? Well, some people don't think so. Anyway, sorry. I'm sorry. The people who are disappointed, I'm just so sorry. Not really. You know, the complainers. Anyway, so Fake Sagan made a video, and very nice. Compared me to a guy who masturbates on the rich, and thinks everybody's a piece of shit. So that's pretty good. Yeah, I wouldn't hang out with dogs, though. I'd hang out with cats, maybe. Dogs are they're too easy. Cats are, higher quality audience. You got to be a little more of somebody to impress a cat. Anyway, they don't smell as much as dogs. Dogs are just kind of smelly. I'm sorry, but they're just kind of smelly. That whole dog breath thing. Anyway, so there's a bigger story to all of this. The point of this thing between me and Fake Sagan, right? So the first current, the undertow, whatever, the real thing under the surface, the iceberg, whatever. It's just this idea of communicating with the other human beings and being able to say, I don't get you, and mean it in some way, and say, come on, I'm not feeling it. Because you're saying, look, how can we both live in this world and draw such fundamentally different conclusions? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I don't buy it. There's got to be there's a rig here somewhere. There's some kind of monkey wrenching going on that's making this possible. And it's not a good wrench, is all I'm trying to say. It's not Mr. Good Wrench. It's Mr. Bad Wrench, and I think he's got religion. I think that's that's one of my targets. Because I think that is the beginning and the end of the doom for something called human intelligence. Pretty much. So yeah, you got to recognize that's where I'm coming from. That's my diagnosis. There's no worse drug on this planet. It's whatever, heroin cubed, or to the minus 490 power or whatever. It's just bad news. So that was part of this conversation, and then part of it's the whole hypocrisy of the religious, the idea that they will, not only sacrifice our rights on the altar of their religion, they will take our rights and the ones they don't even want to use because they're holy and they're not going to need these rights, like abortions and stuff, and they will slaughter them, on the altar of their God. They'll give them to God. I mean, it's like taking somebody to the altar, okay, dragging them there, tying them up, taking them to the altar, and hacking the guy's hands off and saying, "Look, I gave you a set of hands, God. Aren't I wonderful?" Yeah, there's somebody else's fucking hands. What the fuck is that? You can't do that shit. You don't sacrifice other people's liberty on the altar of your God. That's grotesque. Do as I say, not as I do. I mean, this is just such bullshit, and just a fundamental level. So yeah, when these hypocrites come begging, it's a little slimy. And then on top of that, the other big picture, the other big iceberg thing I was trying to get to is that the world has problems, and these problems need fixing. There needs to be solutions, and everybody's just doing this symptom thing, and they're poster childing the symptoms. And yes, this Stephanie is a very pretty girl, and blah 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 blah. And maybe I'll talk about that. that's the whole cheat, isn't it? Because what if she was a haggy-looking black girl or something? I wonder. All of a sudden, there's not $6,000 in donations. I just mean that there's just such an illogic to this. It's like the stupid 9/11 victims. Like they were the only people that know what loss is, and the only people that, and we know that happens every day. Some family is going to be ripped to pieces by a drunk driver every fucking day. It's going to happen more than once. And those people don't get $1 billion. Those people don't have any. No one's trying to reclaim their lives. Nobody gives a fuck. Because they're not poster child material. They're not Pretty Little Stephanie. So I find that obnoxious. So I'm just explaining where my resentments come from. My hostility. First, Jesus freak, I believe he's done tremendous evil in the world. I believe he's been a fucking tremendous evil doer. That the stupidity and ignorance that he preaches and endorses and encourages in other people causes real harm in the world. This isn't a good thing. It hurts things. It hurts not only animals but people. And that's my agenda. So again, I can't, I'd be a hypocrite to sit there and say, well, yeah, let's give to the Nazi charity. You gotta draw a line somewhere. You aid and comfort to your enemies is, whose bad is that? When you get slaughtered on the battlefield. When you're being dragged to have your hands cut off on the altar of their God. So, anyway, I just wanted to play this clip. You said you didn't watch all of my video, and I'm thinking, well, maybe you didn't watch this part. So maybe I'll play this part and say, look, you can paraphrase what I did as some sort of cheap shot and all that. I was throwing in a little bit of humor because that's what I tend to do, as I try to, I don't even try. It's just my nature. Especially these subjects are a little bit awkward. You just tend to start to say, let's, I mean, it just happens. So that's what happened. And I'm not going to apologize for it because I might do some more of it, actually. Because like I said, I think there's a element of ludicrous to the way we're functioning as a human race and the way we prioritize, and it's just so obscenely not right. And so, yeah, I'm going to poke fun at it.
Or whether I'm just trolling everybody.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It does fucking matter. And that's that whole evolution thing. It's the whole, how the fuck does the world become a better place is because of people truly redeemed. Because of people who truly understand there's a lot at stake here, okay? It does make a difference. One little butterfly flapping its wings can mean the difference between 1 million people suffering and 1 million people eating cupcakes. And that's just the fucking truth. It can pull nails out of the future's eye.
Ooh, that was
good. That fucking real.
Yeah, that was good. But I guess I meant more like the butterfly who can see the difference. See the difference can see the hypocrisy, can see that the need isn't just in the cute and the fluffy. Okay, the need goes deeper than that.
And this lying fucking game playing is just such a pile of suck. Am I telling the truth? Ooh, can you tell? Ooh. Do you have special 3D glasses to see the real fake Sagan? Ooh.
I know there's a good part in here somewhere.
So he's showing a picture of dominoes now, doing the determinism thing. He just said how he has free will, though. So where's the free will in that little domino spiral? How exactly does that domino spiral make a free?
Doesn't matter. Because maybe the 10 years that I've been here really had nothing to do with me at all. Maybe it was all about Stephanie and her getting what she needed.
Now, so he says this, and now he's turned it into my entire life was for this moment
Okay, where I make this decisive contribution to the let's do it now. And if she dies, right? So there's the irony, right? If she dies in the surgery because they did it now instead of later or some other time. This wasn't exactly what I was looking for. So it was the first video, part 1. I don't know. This doesn't seem to be with the part I wanted. Well, we'll jump ahead a little bit. So I just do, you know, what if she dies? And I did the joke about Jesus freaking. Or not. This is the vehicle is another subject altogether. And there we go. Okay, this is the part. Your fucking $1,000. This isn't even a guarantee that you actually did something productive. What we're really talking about was what your intent was, right? So that's all there is here, is an intent. Do I wish the world better? Okay, great. I'm glad that you wished somebody less pain. That's a really good thing, right? Wanting somebody to have less pain is good. Whether or not this is the vehicle is another subject altogether. And for you to presumptively say ahead of time that God knows this is what the right thing to do was, God says it was good, well, I don't think so. Okay, well, I don't know about that part. But anyway, the point, the only reason I'm playing this is just to say, look, I acknowledge doing good things is great, but I've made these arguments so many times in my videos. So this is, you know, this is my agenda thing, you know, as I talk about this idea of a pound of prevention is worth, you know, an ounce of cure, which is worth, well, it's the other way around, right? Yeah, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure and worth a ton of Band-Aids. I mean, fuck the Band-Aid bullshit. Fuck, you know, get to the causes of these, you know, this dysfunctions in our society. And the fact that somebody's health care needs aren't getting met somehow, which I don't even think this is about, right? I mean, this money isn't for the surgery. This money is for the driving to Atlanta and blah, 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 because they think the surgeon there, I guess, makes better prosthetic vaginas or whatever. And that's what this is for: hotels and restaurants and caregiving and after surgery counseling, whatever the fuck that is. I hope she got some before surgery counseling. I hope she talked to people who actually had the surgery and found out whether it's worth it. Because, you know, you have a thing to have to keep clean, and you got to worry about infections, and, you know, they attach this thing a little bit funny. It's not going to work anyway. And so, you know, I don't need to be a doom purveyor, but this is the kind of thing where maybe you don't do it until you really need to. You know, like I said, maybe she'll find a man who just couldn't give a rat's ass. I mean, you know, let's talk man to man, Fakie. Yeah, so all the women, leave the room, please. If you're a woman, yeah, leave the room. Men is dogs, okay? They will hump anything. They will. So what do we, you know, she's hot, you know, a pretty girl, let's say, you know, physically fit otherwise. I mean, there's plenty of entertainment for any functioning penis, okay? Just, it can have a good time in all kinds of ways, and, you know, I mean, look, when I was 16, I would have paid real money to just hump a couple of girls' legs. I would have, just let me be exactly like a dog. Yes, let me treat you as if I were a dog, and you'll let me hump your leg. I mean, I saw girls who let dogs hump their legs, and I was envious. I was like, God damn, she'll let a damn fucking dog hump her leg, and she won't let me do it. Damn. So I'm just saying, you know, this is not the end of the world for a lot of men. This is whatever. Okay, so yeah, we have to be a little more creative. Big fucking deal. So I'm just saying, this is the kind of thing I don't think I'd bother committing to unless it's doing something that's, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's obviously can't be doing anything that's all creepy and shit if they didn't find out until she's 16 fucking years old. I mean, I don't know. This doesn't sound, I mean, does this sound right to you? I mean, you have a daughter and she's not having bloody periods. and nobody figures out for at least 4 years. You're saying, gee, she's maturing awful late, isn't she? I mean, who thinks that way, right? I mean, by the time she's 12, if something ain't happening, you know something's broke. So how the hell did it take till she's 16 to figure out there's shit missing? But anyway, I'm just saying, I don't even, and it's none of my business, right? No, this part isn't any of my business. The part I wanted to make my business. Let's see if I have anything else to say about that, though. And then I can yell that the women can come back in the room. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. I'm just saying I don't like the poster childness of it all. I don't like this whole function that people should even have to function in this way to get shit done. It just ain't right. Got to be a better way. All of us trying to raise our hand higher or yell louder. It all has that kind of, well, I'll wear more makeup and maybe I can raise enough money for my heart surgery. It's just, no, this ain't the way the world should be running. Alright, so that's all besides that point. And so the real point is this underlying subject, again, where, people just think this whole reckless attitude, especially of the Christians, where they just keep farting out these kids. It's some kind of innate right they have, and like I said, especially in a civilization where it's not some innate right anymore, because it has such huge liabilities and consequences, because you can't just let people suffer with conditions. You can't let things go untreated and all of that stuff. So it's a huge responsibility. And do they want to take full responsibility? No. They don't want the obligation to save money to have kids. They just have them. And it's all so, so damn sloppy to be encouraging that kind of shit. And that's all part of this whole religion thing. So again, I can't really separate who's running this charity, so to speak. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so I don't know if there's any, that's a separate kind of a conversation, maybe. I don't know. It's a conversation for just to the. Yeah, I'm not being very articulate. I realize. To the point that this idea of the prevention versus the cure versus the band-aids, and that's where this is all failing, is that nobody's recognizing that you have to do this shit right. This isn't just a game. This isn't inconsequential. It's consequential. There's huge things at stake. I mean, even like I said, the decision to have this surgery, there's risks tied to it and all kinds of consequences, and it's not something that should be done lightly. Sloppily. It just seems that that's what gets us into all these messes in the first place, is people's sloppiness. I mean, there's people right now having kids who know they have genetic defects and still do it. I mean, another woman I loved, Christina Applegate, she goes, 2 years after having her breast removed, because of a bad genetics, she has a kid. I mean, go figure. What the hell is she thinking? I mean, that's just so fucking stupid. It's really stupid. Anyway. Yeah, so that's enough. So that's the context of my conversation. And again, the real point of what I was saying to you was about the whole religion and redemption thing. So I'm just saying, I'm acknowledging that you giving up $1,000 is meaningful. I said that in my video. I'm just saying that again, yes, calculating people's motives is, that's just really difficult. And part of the motives might be because she's an attractive girl, and different things are entering into your decision to do that. And that's the only part I'm being skeptical of, because I know that would be my corruptions. That would be I'd be easily corrupted by these influences, and that sucks. All right, so anyway, to the other stuff, Fake Sagan has a lot of misconceptions about me. I don't have any engineering degrees. I worked in a machine shop even long before that. I worked on cars when I was a kid. I was one of those kids who, worked on mechanical shit all the time. So I acquired a lot of mechanical knowledge. And I worked in electronics and different, building robots and different things, so I had exposure to all this kind of, hands-on kind of learning. I was supposed to go to college. I was accepted at LSU. Blah, blah, blah. Was going, just couldn't get there because I had a bit of a nervous breakdown that, lasted 40 years. So anyway, that's the way it turned out. And as for, they're going to find that after I'm dead that I had $1 million. Well, I wish. If I had money, I'd be using it. I don't see any value in money for any other purpose than to devote it to some constructive purpose, to do something useful with it. And, I could get $1 billion tomorrow, and you're not going to see a huge upgrade in my lifestyle. Maybe a little bit of money put away for security, but other than that, I'm going to use it for functional benefit to the whole function of the human and animal environment. I don't need a Lamborghini or anything. So anyway, I'm just saying there's no chance that I got $1 million in the back room, that I was planning to do nothing with and just let it sit there until I'm dead. That sounds kind of silly. Very silly. So anyway, I don't know if there's anything else he said that was totally not accurate. The rest of it was only a little inaccurate here and there. But yes, he's quite correct about this Diogenes guy or whatever. Yeah, it's a good comparison. So yes, I hate people, and but I wouldn't mind jerking off on them. And yeah, that's about it. I don't mind. I wouldn't mind living in a pipe or something. Yeah, that's okay. So yeah, I could go for that. Yeah, so I think that's probably enough. Sorry, it wasn't as. I'm tired. Long day. I thought I had some other, but it just doesn't matter. But yes, I would be. I know you made videos before, but they were kind of, blah 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 about the whole religion thing. But I'm just saying, I still can't. It's just, yes, just put yourself in a category. You don't have to give me the details. You're in the UFO category, like you had some miraculous blah blah experience, and because I used to have this argument. Like I had a grandmother, right, very old, but yeah, I remember, she lived to be 107. But I had these conversations with her about religion because she believed in God, and there was really no way I could get anywhere with it because she had this personal experience where when she was very ill, Jesus sat on her bed and blah 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 blah. So she had this personal thing, and there's just no way I could erase that out of her head. I just couldn't take
that experience out of her head, and I couldn't really get her to understand that when you're ill, there's lots of chemicals in your brain, and your brain just makes a shit up. And Jesus wasn't there, but whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying. But I can't argue with people's personal subjective evidence, so to speak. If they got some sort of piece of evidence that I can't see, then yeah, I can't do much to argue it. But I'm just saying, we kind of know that lots of people have lots of experiences, and we know that they're wacky. Okay, that the thing they think happened didn't happen. They're not Cleopatra. The blah blah blah. You can go through all this stuff. They didn't get abducted by aliens, and they didn't do this, and they, So anyway, yeah. All right. So I think that's enough. There's probably something I'm missing, but just not terribly important. But yeah, I'm just a little, if I had a 16-year-old daughter, I'm just saying, surgery is surgery, and I don't know how much of a reconstruction they're going to attempt, but sometimes doctors try to do shit that's not very practical, and so you got to really be sure they have a solid plan here, because they can just make things worse. And it's not that big a tragedy. It's really easy to make a hard penis happy. I mean, they're one of the easiest things to feed in the world. You just, pet them a little. It's not that difficult. So she shouldn't worry about that shit. Anyway, till the next time and such.